Hey guys, what's going on? It's Joe from the Bro Scouts here. How you guys doing? It's October 20th, so that means there's going to be one thing that I'm going to talk about. And for those of you guys that are not living under a rock, that's on Facebook, looking at the Google News, and or just seeing what's trending right now. And that's without further ado that it is the Nintendo Switch console that just got announced with a trailer that came out, and that was so sick. Like, that was so bloody incredible. It's supposed to come out in March 2017, and the thing that is really crazy about that is that's really close. Like, you haven't seen anyone announce a trailer that's within 6 months coming out with all that detail and everything. That is so cool. So that's the thing that I'm really most stoked about today. Like, I mean, today was a huge thing for a couple of things. Well, a couple of days. We got Red Dead Redemption 2 that's coming out. For those of you that like Rockstar games, that's one of the best ones you can play. Maybe Bully's really cool, but it's just GTA in high school. This is the Wild Wild West. I can't wait for that one. And then other news is that there is Logan, which is Wolverine 3. The trailer came out. That was really cool as well. And I think the thing about that got me hooked was I think that it's going to be set after the Infinity War because it shows it's all not apocalyptic, but superheroes are in hiding. It's just not the same world anymore. But without further ado, it was called the Nintendo NX, which is probably just kind of a beta name, and then they switched it to Nintendo Switch. And you know what? I actually like the name Nintendo Switch. It is super cool. Not just about that, but it says a lot about Nintendo and where they're wanting to go. They're wanting to change things up because it feels like the last couple of things they've put out is just what they think they should put out, not necessarily what they actually want to put out. Especially with the Wii U. We all saw how much of a bust that was. I have a Wii U. And you know what? I do enjoy it. It had some innovation and mobility with it, but it was very limited, especially with the fact that after every time I play it, I have to charge up the controller. It didn't offer a lot of games, but I still had a lot of fun. Like, I mean, the thing that was good about it, if I got tired from the couch, I would go to bed, and I'd bring my controller there, and I'd just be playing in bed, and I'd be looking like an idiot with just this big old light in front of my face, you know. So aside from that, Nintendo Switch I'm really stoked about here. So this is where we're going to do our very first thing, and it's a first Bro Scouts top 10. And what we're going to do is the top 10 features or things that we have learned just from this 3-minute trailer. Okay, everybody, so here at number 10 position is the kickstand. Yep, that is super primitive and super small, a little tiny detail. But the thing that adds, especially with it being on the screen that is given to you for this, is it gives a bit more flexibility with what you're able to do with it. Its whole thing is about mobility, and that you can take it just on the trailer, how you see that everyone is at the basketball hoops, or they're going from they have to leave their house but they still want a game, and they can bring that with them, and you don't have to buy a new accessory or anything. You just pop it out and it kickstands right there. That is super cool. I think it well deserves being in the top 10 for that. Number 9, it's a very small tidbit that I'm taking away from it of this trailer. It was only around for a couple of seconds, but there is AMBINOS in this trailer, which leads me to believe that all those figures that you've been spending money on, especially for your 3DS, your Wii U, and everything, is going to be compatible for this. They wouldn't just have those out there in a trailer unless they were compatible. Nintendo's really savvy with the information that's all around in their trailers or anything that they do. They always love pumping Easter eggs that have meaning. So AMBINOS, for people that are worried about now that because Wii U is not going to be a future installment, it's getting cut loose, that the money you spent on the figurines is going to carry over. Number 8, the overall design of the system itself and how you store it. Just seeing in the person's house on how it was hooked up to a screen was really cool. It overall, when you look at the big storage compartment that holds the secondary screen, looks a bit like a Wii system that's just black. I thought that was really cool because the one problem with the Wii or the Wii U is it always seemed like those were one was they were mingling together that they couldn't come up with a new solid idea. This one's kind of going like we're a completely new thing, but we're still keeping our overall shape. And I think that's really good because it's just like what Coke does with their bottle. It's like you gotta have your stamp. I really like how it looks, especially with the controllers. It looks kind of similar to what the Game Gear even used to look like. Big fat screen, and then the side handles that are dipping down. I really enjoyed that. Number 7, we got the mobility and overall innovation of this entire system of what you're able to do, not just the design. So you're able to, what they say is it's primarily supposed to be a stand console for your house or everything that you would use with your PS3, PS4, GameCube, you name it. It's primarily supposed to do that, but it shows many different situations where you pick it up. You know, you're going out to dinner and you're going to have a few beers. Some people let their silly kids bring a tablet, so why won't I bring my Nintendo Switch? So I'm going to go there, and then like the number 10 moment of having a kickstand, you just pop that there with your controllers and keep playing. The really cool thing about it is how they showed an airplane, especially with airlines now not always giving you free movie packages, Wi-Fi, and everything. You can just bring a game console, and it's not going to be like a Game Boy that you're just going to be hunched over kind of like this. It gives it a bit more free range that's just in front of you. I really like that. Also that it still has the Pro controller for at home. That's really cool as well. I mean, the problem we'll get into my problem on another one. It's going to be a bit more connecting with there. But the fact that you're able to move around further than how the Wii U was, because the Wii U one you can only move like maybe 12 feet and you're good. This one seems that the takeaway screen is a bit more of a thing that you can actually transport wherever you go. So that's really cool. Number 6, cartridges or game cards, whatever you want to call it. Okay, guys, so we all know the legacy of the Nintendo game systems or Sega's is the cartridge games. Like, those are the ones that still last today. People say, hey, this don't break, a lot like the CDs and everything. Because when they first came out with the DVD ROMs for like the PS2, Xbox One, it was starting to cause laser damage and you would destroy your games pretty easily. Well, your cartridges are still working pretty fine. The only issue is like after X amount of years, the battery dies that you have to replace for your save files, but the game still works fine. Like, I still play Earthbound on my Super Nintendo when I can rather than getting a ROM. And that's really cool. It's a throwback to what started out Nintendo's success. I really like that detail, and I think a lot of people are going to like that. Number 5, the portable controllers. Those look really cool. I mean, this is my issue, is the one issue I had with Nintendo since the Wii till now is how many different frickin' controllers that you had to buy. And especially, I think my last, and a lot of people's last straw, but a lot of people liked it too, was the adapter that you had for the Wii U for the new Super Smash Brothers. It was really cool because the main controller for it is the GameCube. It felt so cool and everything. But my problem is it was only meant for that game. You couldn't make it for any other things. So that was my issue. But that aside, let's talk about the Nintendo Switch controllers. They're sleek, they're clean. You can clip them in, clip them out. My only thing is I think that there's going to be multiple different little adapters for each different type of game pack you may get. So I think there's going to be a lot of those that you'll see, and that might cause some issues. But overall, I love the maneuverability, how it can click into the screen, or if not, you can slide it on its side, use it for one player or like Mario Kart or anything like that, or you can hold it kind of like the Wiimote systems for one player. Number 4, being able to connect with other tablets and multi-connections. So in the trailer, we saw that they were at the basketball courts and they had 2 screens, which is basically 2 systems, propped up against each other, linked together, playing a 2K NBA game. That's really innovative and cool because the Wii U, you could not have more than one big tablet, and I thought that was very annoying because that's a great controller. Why can't I have more than one? Allows you to have split screen, but you don't do the quad in one screen because that'd be way too... that would be way too much small screens for anyone to look at. But the fact that you can have multiple screens connecting and systems and linking is really cool. Much like doing, I guess, a Pokemon trade or something when you're doing the link cables. That's what I think it's trying to do, which is awesome. Number 3, a new Mario game. That's right. So when we were looking at this, you could see it looked like a Wild West little type of like strip. You see Mario running through, and then also a bit part of another world where you get to see Mario. But this isn't just a Mario game, just like Mario 3D or anything like that. This looks more like a Super Mario 64 Sunshine style game where the camera's over your shoulder and not over top of you, and it doesn't look like a straight left to right platformer. I think that's something that we've been missing, especially because Wii U didn't have that, and nor did it have a Zelda game. They say it's going to all come out on Wii U. Obviously, I'm going to get a Switch, and I'm going to use this, but overall, there's a new Mario game, and I could not be more stoked. Number 2, having the ability to play higher level games. So when you saw that this, there's different games on the screens in each and every time, which I liked. It didn't have just Zelda that they've been, pushing down our throats a little bit about this system. Is that you saw the remastered Skyrim in it, which means that it's able to have a lot of high level games that you need to have as an operating system for making big epic games. And that was one thing that lured a lot of people away, was that there isn't a lot of maneuverability or power with the Wii U, so I'm not going to develop for this system. With this, and you're just able to see that it's able to handle Skyrim, it'll be okay. All I'm waiting for now is seeing a trailer for The Witcher 3 being re-released. Number 1, and here we are, everybody. So I'm going to have to go with number 1. I might get some backlash for this, but I'm just going to overall and say developmental support. So there's going to be a lot of developers out there, and they've already released a huge amount of people. So if, let's say, for example, we got Sega, we got EA, we have Konami, we have Kojima. Like, we have a lot of different developers that are now getting behind developing as a third-party developer for Nintendo systems. And that's what kind of killed the Wii U, is that we saw that there was not a lot of third-party developers because it was a whole new software. It was something really different to use. So a lot of games had to just be made out of Nintendo. And that's what killed their sales, because, or that made a lot of terrible games, is because you got to keep pumping out and putting content if you're the only developer doing it. But now, since it's spread out, we're actually going to see some games that we can play again. Like, it doesn't... I'm not huge into sports games. It's really fun to play with a bunch of friends, but that's what Wii U didn't have. Like, it was very limited to what it had. You didn't have sports games. You didn't have epic games. You only had the Nintendo ones, and some of them were great. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Mario Kart 8 was phenomenal. But you gotta ask for other people's help to deal with this. So that's one thing I think this is gonna make this thrive, is how many people are behind this. And I think after today, even the public eye is really behind this. And that's why we're calling it Nintendo Switch, is that it's switching the game up for Nintendo. Now we're going to be into the tail end of our video here, and we're just going to have some questions now, a little bit of remarks of that we haven't had answered, that we may have now started asking these questions for, seeing this trailer. Number 1 is going to be power. Like, is this able to handle anything? Like, they obviously said that it's going to be less of a grade than a PS4 or an Xbox One operating system. Where does that stand? Where's our limit? Like, where's the ceiling? Internal storage is another one. If there's going to be a lot of maneuverability, like, I get that there's not going to be a lot because they say it's primarily to be a home console. But for maneuverability, am I only allowed to have one game on the fly, or is it going to be a lot like the 3DS, where you get to pop in and out your cartridges, and then that will be fine, and it'll just be reading off of cartridges? Maybe that's why they went to cartridges, everyone, is so that you don't really need to have a huge internal storage, just for maybe some updates and everything here like that. That's internal for the system, but everything might be in the cartridge now, and you might be able to only have a couple of saves, which is fine. Okay, is it backwards compatible in any way? I personally don't think so. I think if anything, you're going to be able to transfer over the things you've downloaded on the Nintendo network to play, like the classic games and everything, but I don't think so. Like where do they show in any way that there's going to be a CD compartment? Here's another big question. Is there video stream? Are we able to now watch videos, go on YouTube or anything? It showed using it on a plane, taking a dog for a walk or anything. Is it more than just a console, or is it going to be more like a tablet too, where there's just like you have so much room on your storage to use these different apps that you've put on it? Another question. What is next with the controllers, the removable ones that go side to side when you take it out and everything? Are there going to be different ones based on different games they're going to release? So for example, like how many games had like shooters or catch and reels or anything like that for fishing? They might have a reel on it, so you press a button and then you reel it in and everything. Like, is there going to be game specific controllers? Because we all know in past with Nintendo, they have sold a lot of different controllers, and for me, I don't have a lot of space living in an apartment to have that. Next is a big question. Battery life. Not just on the system, especially with being portable, but also the controllers. How long of a time do I have? And then over some time of using it, is it going to be like a phone where eventually the battery is going to be utter crap? That's another big question. And then the final big thing that Wii U was not able to succeed in at all, which in my opinion was why it failed so bad, is will it be its own thing? And from the looks of it, it is its own new thing. There's no Wii in it, no name that's similar. It's going to be its own standalone thing. I don't think it's going to be backwards compatible. They're trying to clean the slate and start afresh, and you can't do that by remembering your past failures. You got to just go with what worked, and they went with cartridges, which is your one throwback. But now they're keeping to what they are, and Nintendo is being innovative. Alright guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Let me know what you thought of my top 10. If you have any questions, let me know. I could not be more stoked for the Nintendo Switch. I like the name, I like the design, I love the innovation, and I just can't wait to see what else it's going to astonish me with. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe and let me know. Alright, bye-bye.